Can't Fold Volume 4 is officially out now. Go get your official Save America and Holy Confidence shirts, along with the bumper stickers for each. These are two things that mean a lot to us, and we know they mean a lot to you all too. Be sure to subscribe to the emails to get notified about the drop, and thank you guys so much for supporting.
I want everybody to plan, look down the road 6 months. Yes, your husband lost his job. That's why you need to sock away some money when he's gainfully employed. Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
But think about it, Adam,
have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. Where do they
why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups, why those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of places.
But I want to know why those groups, why those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of. Just happens to be that. We can
so
talk
they're
about
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
I ain't gonna lie. He's poking holes in his argument.
It's quick too.
This is literally a prime example. A right and a left argument. What did he just say as the final argument when he just asked that?
Because he was trying to pander, like, oh, it's just black, it's colored people.
He said, well, what about Armenians?
What type of words did he just use just now? Those last two words because of what, brother?
Because the magnitude.
It's immunist. What?
It's immunist. Big magnitude.
Like it's
big effect.
Like
They're mostly, there's more of them who cannot get the checking account.
Okay. Well, that was my nigga, bro.
But I'm going to keep it 100. If you can't get a checking account, that means you don't have an ID.
I'm sorry, guys.
Whoa, that's funny.
All right, come on. No,
it's like they couldn't get a checking account?
No, he cooked him when he said, so why don't they?
No, facts.
He said, are they flawed? No. Well, then.
He said, well, what's wrong with them?
This is hilarious.
I couldn't tell you what's wrong. He said, well, a lot of things.
All right, come on. That was crazy.
Why was I so weak?
Armenians have them.
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups, why those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of. Just happens to be that. We can
so
talk
they're
about
flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
why
of new
are they
immigrants.
Struggling?
A lot of different reasons. Lack of
Hispanics
opportunity.
have been here. Blacks have been here longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. And the Chinese Exclusion Act came out of progressive San Francisco.
Are they the check cashing
places? A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude them?
The only reason why is the magnitude.
There's
the problem.
So many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about it. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No.
You see how he's trying to backtrack it? Now he doesn't want to talk about it.
No, he's cooking.
He was getting
bad. I've never.
No, he was getting on his ass.
This is Vivek level cooking.
Yeah,
right, brother.
He just asking questions, bro.
He was definitely trying to pander. He was like, well, why are you saying all that? Like, why? I
was surprised he's going with it this long.
Yeah, no, I would have gave up.
There's so many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about it. You know what I'm dealing with?
Talk about
I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality. No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and suffering?
I don't want an idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these underlying reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and
because
Hispanics?
they're working.
Why Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all
Why?
socioeconomic.
Okay, so everybody is.
Everybody's struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
It's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian. It's
Okay,
a lot of
so
folks
we're all
in society.
struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
Wow.
That was a cook sesh.
That was bad.
That was a cook sesh.
That was bad. Yeah.
That basically sums it up, man. I was having an
does.
argument just like this at practice not too long ago. And I remember they said, well, black person can't just go up there and get a job. They pointed to the building right there. It was like a doctor building and with nurses and stuff. I said, well, what if they get a nursing degree? Why they can't go there and get a nursing? They won't hire them. I said, okay.
I seen a lot of black girls,
Yeah,
I hate when people try to use
We've
excuses.
seen plenty.
I've
I said, your mind's still enslaved.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Who was that guy?
You're a little idiot if you believe that. Adam Carolla.
Carolla.
So hold on. So is he alluding that like a lot of the Latinos and the blacks, the ones that don't have them, is like drug dealers and stuff?
Well, no, that's not.
It's
that
the
was
culture.
alluding. He was just basically saying
He knows
like,
it's the culture.
He was trying to say that like they don't have it, and he was like, well, why don't they have it? And he was like, just kept trying to get him to say why.
What
He
are
wouldn't
the
say
answers
why.
to why
He just
black
kept-
people are struggling
Yeah,
and Mexicans are struggling
he's like,
more than other races?
Yeah, he's like, so why are they
So they
struggling?
bully
He
me.
literally wouldn't say why. He's basically just trying to make it seem like they're having an issue and they're the most affected by it. But then he was like,
Booty
so
hole, bro.
how come is it just them? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, why are they doing that? And he's basically like doing it in like troll questions.
Yeah.
But like it's actual, like he could
Yeah,
actually
we know
answer.
the answer to,
and he
yeah.
kept deflecting every time,
Well-
which led to him asking more troll questions and more and more and more and more. And then
Yeah.
he kind of poked a hole in his argument. He's
You
like,
don't
so
think-
why
Gavin,
did
you
you
think
just
you're
say
gonna go
them?
up there with a fake Mr. Ramaswamy?
No, he's
Y'all
not.
might sound weird for saying this, but will you just say, you know, a lot of them just decide to keep cash on deck than just, you know, using the actual checking account?
I feel like a checking account is like essential for being an adult.
But you know, some people don't want to, you know, have their money getting tracked, and some people probably doing
That's
something.
because of that our culture taught us to have, not to trust the banks, maybe.
Well, there's lots of things. You go to a credit union.
Maybe
I
that's
just-
that's
I
that
think-
one.
I think
He
in
was saying, like,
2024
why are the black people struggling as a whole more than other races and Mexicans. That's kind of the whole argument. Not just
Yeah,
that
I
one.
know.
And
Yeah,
Gavin's
but-
trying to say we're systemically held down, I'm assuming.
Well, I don't know. He wouldn't say that because he was basically saying like, "Oh, this is a problem that affects black and brown people." He's like, "Well, what about Asians? What about other people?" He's like, "Well, white people and Asians and everybody else is affected too." He said, "So then why did you say black and brown people? Or,
Yeah, there's people
like
are
Mexicans and
affected.
black people." He's like, "Well, they're affected more by it." And he was like, "Well, then why did you just say them instead? Like, not everybody's affected by it."
Because you as a person or what decisions you make leads on to like what happens in your life.
But that comes down to the culture.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like he's not like blaming it on the person itself. He's blaming it on
But
he,
what
he
I
was
was
trying to,
saying,
he was trying to make it sound like it was like a systemic issue rather than like the real issue it is. Like, why is it the reason they don't have bank accounts? Well, they don't have the resources. Well, like, what does that mean?
That's his. Well, that's his state. So why he can't provide the resources
How long has he been the governor there? 'Cause this is
for
from 2013.
Well, this is
good long time?
He probably lieutenant governor.
I think he been.
What's
there
the difference between the governor and the lieutenant governor?
I think the lieutenant is like a step down. Like he's
so he was getting up there.
yeah, he was getting up there.
Yeah, he's been there for a minute.
You know,
Since he was
Arnold,
kids.
Schwarzenegger was the governor of California.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know that?
Yeah, y'all didn't know that? He was the
That's
whole
crazy.
governor of the whole California, though, right?
Yeah. know who that
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was
No, no, no,
Gavin
no, no.
Newsom before Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, y'all didn't know that?
Okay, that's
The
why.
actor,
That's
yes.
That's why California messed
Ah.
up.
They don't take you serious.
I am the Terminator with the goddamn. The Terminator with the goddamn governor.
Hey, don't be hating
Yeah,
on
guys.
Don't be hating on Arnold now.
I am the Terminator.
Yeah, the leftist people are trying to make it seem like that the race is the problem more than the person not, just...
I'm sure there's lots of other
culture.
factors that
Yeah,
could,
yeah,
you
it's
could,
not.
you could
They're
see
not
why
putting
this
it on
happens.
the person,
I think it's just the culture.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah, but
number one
that's
thing.
the person decides if to get in that culture.
But
What
the
culture
culture,
they decide.
your culture, in fact, it impacts your decisions. So if more people around you are making good decisions, you're more likely to make good decisions. They can't. It does boil down to the person because you can be in a bad environment and choose to make good decisions, but you're
But is
definitely
that or not? But that's
statistically
the thing,
more
though.
likely
Is-
to make good
is that
decisions.
is that a problem on our environment or is it? Or
That's
is that
how
the system?
we create our culture.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a decision between that's on us.
Yes.
That's why that's basically what he's saying because the culture of Asian people they just decide why
we
they
like
that.
school, not
Yeah.
School, money,
hip hop.
You come
and
to America,
businesses.
you work hard. I feel like you can get anything you want. Some people are in a bigger hole than others, and they just got to come out that hole. And it's just what America's just what it is.
It's the best system. We got the best system.
Yeah.
I don't see a better system.
I don't.
If you can point to a better system for this amount of people,
I don't.
please show me.